Hi friends, today I'm going to talk about Uranus in second house. The second house in the chart stands for many things like face, like speech, um, family, family's wealth, for documents, for death, for livelihood, etc. In mundane astrology, it stands for national wealth, it stands for trade and commerce, it stands for currency and its circulation, it stands for museum and libraries, it stands for buying power of common man, it stands um, for nations' assets, liquid assets, stocks, bonds, shares and investments, banks and financial institutes, etc. When Uranus goes in the second house, depends on whether it's malefic there or benefic there, it gives results accordingly. So I opened many charts, personal charts of celebrities to see what kind of effect they have in their life, like in the life of Sean Connery, Robert Downey Jr., Cary Grant, Paul Newman, Tiger Woods, and Princess Stephanie of Monaco. They all have Uranus in their second house. And I notice the upheaval in their personal life and in their professional life very clearly. Like Cary Grant, before becoming a successful superstar, he was working for stage, and part-time he was working as a hawker and also as a male escort for female socialites. And then he had 5 marriages, and his confusions regarding his sexual orientation, all this was part of his life. When I opened the chart of Princess Stephanie of Monaco, there was much upheaval there because in her second house she has Cancer rising, and in her second house Leo, she has retrograde Uranus and retrograde Pluto. Though Pluto is exalted in Leo, but when a planet becomes retrograde in its exalted sign, it gives the effect of debilitated, planet, like it's debilitated Pluto. So her personal life has gone through many upheavals, like in her seventh house, she has in her seventh house she has. I have her chart. 1 minute. Yeah, in her seventh house she has. Venus, Mercury, Sun, Moon in the sign Capricorn, and Capricorn is Dagd for her. And in her second house, she has retrograde Uranus and retrograde Pluto. In the nakshatra of Purva Falguni, the Lord is Venus. And the second and seventh house connection very strong because Sun is in the seventh house. And this is these two houses are death inflicting houses, So in 1982, she was in the car which Princess Grace Kelly, her mother, was driving, and there was a massive accident. The mother died a day later due to her injuries, and Princess Stephanie, endured many injuries, broken rib cage, and though she survived, but she lived with that trauma. She says till today that memory is alive with her. She is going through emotional trauma still. And then 8 years later, because the 11th house lord is also Venus, and it is also going in the 7th house, and Uranus and Pluto both are in Venus nakshatra. So 8 years later, Princess Caroline, her older sister, her husband, 30-year-old Stefano, something Italian guy, I think, and he died in a freak boat accident, and there was no chance of survival. He died on the spot. The boat overturned, and Princess Caroline was left with 3 small kids of Stefano to raise alone, and she never got over that shock. And Princess Stephanie must have seen her sister suffering as well. So these two traumas she went through, Princess Stephanie, in her life. And also, if we see her personal life, she went through many career changes. This is what it gives. Uranus in second house will, give fluctuations in career changes, sudden loss and gains, sudden ends or endings of business contracts and marriage contracts, failures in love relationships, the interest in gambling and speculation, so loss and gains through that, abrupt endings to family members and to the native also. So she has changed many careers. She has gone through, like, she tried becoming a designer, she tried becoming a singer, she is a businesswoman. So she tried her hands in many things, but nothing probably worked out, or she lost interest over time. In her personal life also, she dated many men, influential men of this world, like Hollywood star Rob Lowe was her boyfriend. But finally it didn't work out for her probably, and then she gave birth to two kids out of wedlock with her bodyguard boyfriend Daniel. And she only married him after birth of her two children, when her father Prince Reina allowed her to marry him. And she got married to him, and after 18 months she divorced him. And then after some time she gave birth to another girl child whose father's identity is unknown. And then some time later, maybe in few years time, she married a performer in the circus. She got married to a performer in the circus, some Andes Lopez, and after 1 year the marriage came to an end. She is wayward and she lives her life on her own terms. She asserts on her individuality and originality. She always says that though she is a princess, but she is also a human. So this is her way of living her life, give and take, whatever it is. But she lives her life on her terms, and I salute her for that. Then for mundane, I went to USA chart. I opened and I realized that in USA there was a major stock crash in 1987 October, and USA chart have Sagi rising, and Uranus was towards the last degrees of Sag during that time. It was in the ascendant and towards the end degrees. And that time the stock market crashed. And then in 1988 December, Uranus was in the second house of Capricorn, where Pluto and Ketu are already residing in the USA chart, natal chart. So it is too malefic too malefic connection with Uranus. So the inflation, recession all came in. All the countries, they were closely connected with the USA. They all suffered recession. President Bush decided to participate in Persian Gulf War, and 39 countries totally collaborated for this war, and 670,000 troops went, out of which 425,000 troops were from USA. And the US Department of Defense estimated the cost for US for this war participation was $61 billion. $61 billion, yes. So oil prices also hiked up. So the banks and the financial institutes failed. The saving and loan industries failed. Property market failed. Industries and factories started closing down. People becoming jobless and then homeless. The middle class became the underclass. US government have to give financial aid to common people during that time. It was like a global recession, like so many countries were suffering, and it went on for a very long time, and the recovery was very slow. In 1992, when Bill Clinton took the presidentship from Mr. Bush, things started getting better, but it was a slow growth. And until 1995, till April, I think, Uranus was in second sign. Till that time, USA property market was still very down, and recession could still be experienced. People were still getting the tremors of what they have gone through already. It was economic crisis for many countries, including USA. USA really suffered. People really suffered in USA, but other countries which are closely connected with USA also suffered a lot. So that happened. And then when I opened the India chart, and in India is Libra rising, And in my last video, I mentioned one date wrongly, because sometimes when you are trying to remember so many dates, one you can just forget to, or it's just slip of tongue, you can forget. In India, the Green Revolution happened in 1978-79, but around 1973, Uranus went to Libra. That is its rising sign, and Jupiter is residing there in the ascendant in India's Vedic chart, and Jupiter is Lord of sixth house as well. So few things happen. It is a continuation process from first house to second house of Uranus. What I'm trying to explain, that what started in the first house when Uranus was transiting in first house, the development, the economic growth, and general development of the country, it proceeded when Uranus transited to second sign Scorpio, because Scorpio is its exaltation sign. So many things happened when it was in the ascendant, like Jupiter is a significator of children, so, and it is also Lord of sixth house. So Indira Gandhi, Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi, that time declared emergency, and many people were asked and forced to do sterilization to control population. Other than that, Hero Majestic launched moped. So due to that, the life of a poor person improved. Time and energy was saved, because it was a powered motorcycle, powered bicycle. That happened. And then also Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani, he declared his Reliance Private Limited, he declared it to be public. Also Mr. George Fernandez, he asked Coca-Cola and IBM to leave the country. This all is happening from when Uranus is transiting in first house and when it is going through second house. So all these things are one by one happening, which is which is developing the country. India is becoming from underdeveloped country, it is becoming a developed country. So like Infosys Technologies came up, so IT boom happened. India became self-contained. India started building roads and putting electric cables to everywhere, even the most remote of area were getting electricity. And Maruti was launched. Maruti 800 was launched by Maruti Suzuki. So common person it is such an affordable car that common person could buy it. So standard of living improved. The poverty line, which was poverty line was 51%, and it went to 39%. So like people, their life was improving, general life was improving. And also some sad events happened, like when Uranus was in second house, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi has to pass the order to remove the six separatists from Sikh temple in Golden Temple in Amritsar. So a lot of people died there. Bhopal gas tragedy took place. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was murdered by her security guards, and then Mr. Rajiv Gandhi was sworn in, suddenly. So that all also happened. Basically industrialization took place. Banks, government was supporting cottage industries, and banks were giving loans at very low interest rate. So a lot of industries were cropping up. Export market was getting better, like it was growing. Export market was growing, and IT boom was there. Basically all around development was happening in India during that phase. India really came up, schools and roads were built everywhere, education was for everyone, and it was provided even the remote areas, even villages, hospitals, schools, colleges, roads, electricity. So the country developed very well during that phase. And the sad events which have to take place little bit here and there, that has to happen. It's part and parcel of life. But generally speaking, the planet Uranus does give good results also, and it does give bad results also. So if you like my videos, please subscribe, hit the like button, and see you next time. Take care. God bless you. Bye bye.